Subscribe and click the notification bell to never miss another fear-inducing video. Thank you. This video was inspired by a post made by Imager user Mr. Macabre. Humans have been taking photos since 1826. Though 200 years isn't very long compared to the history of our planet, you'll soon see it was plenty of time to capture some of the most terrifying moments in human history. These are 10 photos with disturbing backstories. Number 1. This photo shows a haggard, decrepit woman that is barely more than bone. Her skin seems shrink-wrapped to her skeleton, giving her form an angular appearance. The word witch may even come to mind, but this photo's story is a tragic one. The person you see here is Blanche Meunier. She was a woman who fell in love, and the terrible human being known as her mother was not happy with her choice of husband. When Blanche was 25, her mother locked her away, trapping her in a tiny room in her attic, and for 25 more years, Blanche remained a prisoner of her own mother. When she was finally found and rescued, the man she loved had already passed away. It is a true and tragic love story, one that seemed more like a modern-day horror film. Number 2. What may seem to be an innocent surprise photo of a man in the shower is something far more haunting. And once you know the story here, the expression on this man's face will be revealed as one of horror. This man is Travis Alexander, another victim of someone who was supposed to love them. In 2008, Travis was dating a woman by the name of Jody Arias. In fact, this photo was taken by Jody only seconds before she took a knife to Travis's throat. As you can see in this picture, Travis may have realized that he was looking into the eyes of the one who would take his life. He is not surprised here as much as he is scared for his life. Number 3. The girl pictured here seems to be in trouble, but the person taking the photo seems so close yet so far. Surely she was saved, right? Well, this is Myra Sanchez Garzon, a 13-year-old Colombian girl. In this photo, she is seen trapped and pinned by the debris of her own home after it collapsed around her due to a volcanic eruption. This poor girl endured 3 painful days in the water, but passed away due to, as experts believe, either gangrene or hypothermia. As you can see from her shriveled and pruned hands, her passing was not a pleasant one. Nature is a devastating force, and even when there are others nearby, sometimes nothing can be done. Number 4. In 2012, in a New York subway, a struggle ensued between a 30-year-old Naeem Davis and 58-year-old Ki Suk Han. Passers-by ignored the escalating situation and tried to go about their daily routines. But in a dire split second, Naeem had pushed Mr. Han, who fell over the edge and onto the subway tracks. As he desperately tried to climb back up, it was too late. There was an oncoming subway train heading right towards him. This once-in-a-lifetime picture was taken only moments before Han lost his life to the oncoming train. It is deeply disturbing to see the final moments of a man's demise and to witness the inevitability of his fate. Naeem Davis was later acquitted on all charges. Number 5. World War II birthed violence so gruesome it will forever live on as a stain in our world and humanity. But what you see here is a more literal interpretation of that. This is what they call a shadow of Hiroshima, the outline left from a victim who was literally vaporized on the spot when the nuclear bomb Little Boy was dropped on the city of Hiroshima in Japan. At least it was painless. Surely there wasn't much time to react when such a sudden and massive cataclysmic event rips your existence from reality. What humans are capable of doing to each other and to the world around them is horrific. Number 6. It's just some people on vacation, right? Experiencing scuba diving for the first time maybe, and eager to commemorate the occasion with a photo. But look in the background on the right. The person sinking to the bottom of the ocean floor. That is Tina Watson, a 26-year-old woman from Helena, Alabama, who sank to the ocean floor and drowned moments later. Turns out, it was her husband Gabe Watson who was later charged for her passing. Apparently, he had turned off her air supply and kept her underwater in a tight bear hug until she could no longer breathe. To be honest with you, drowning would be my least favorite way to go, so I can't comprehend how terrifying it would have been for Tina, especially knowing in those last few moments that it was your own husband who did it to you. Number 7. The Beatles were a legendary band that dominated their time and several generations after. Who you see here is none other than John Lennon, co-founder of the Beatles, a massive figurehead in all of music. So what's so disturbing about this photo? Well, this picture shows John signing a copy of his album, Double Fantasy, for a man named Mark David Chapman, shown right in the photo. Only about 6 hours later after the photo was taken, Mark waited for Lennon and stole his life with a .38 Special revolver. Mark, who was once a major fan of the Beatles, allowed his passion and anger to go too far and stole an icon from this world. Number 8. We're going back to World War II, a moment in history that humanity will never forget. A stain that showed humans at their lowest, but also showed many at their bravest. It was a time some endured and some did not survive. Of those people were millions of Jews who were specifically targeted by the Axis powers. What you see here are terrifying and painful reminders of what some of these people went through. These are scratch marks, the futile attempts at escape from those who were trapped inside the Auschwitz I Stammlager gas chamber. They are claw marks of humans desperately trying to escape their fates. These marks are terror manifest, and it's what happens when humans are so overtaken by pain and fear that they're forced to lose all traces of humanity in their despair. The people who trapped those prisoners in a gas chamber truly were the ones who were furthest from human. Number 9. There's nothing like a funny family photo to encapsulate a heartwarming memory forever. I mean, just look at the smile on those boys' faces. They are Sean and Michael McQuilkin, enjoying a trip to Morro Rock at Sequoia National Park in California in 1975. What they didn't realize at the time of taking this photo was that the static causing their hair to stand on end was due to a soon-to-come lightning bolt, one that struck Sean on the left directly, leaving him with third-degree burns and, some believe, a neurological disorder that would lead him to taking his own life only a few years later. His brother, Michael, is alive today, thankfully, But both him and the photo live on as chilling reminders that the worst can happen at any time, and sometimes nature's wrath is random and entirely unavoidable. And number 10. It's 1916. You're slacked with dozens of pounds of armor, gear, and weapons, all of which are weighed down by mud and rain that is constantly bombarding the trench you're crouched in. Shells and bullets fly past you, explode, ricochet, many of which find their targets in your friends and family and countrymen. These were the terrible realities of World War I, the most violent war the Earth had ever seen at the time. Thanks to new technology, designed specifically to tear humans apart, aimed at millions of young men who either met their fates at the hands of their enemy or lost their minds. Shown in this photo is one such man, driven to insanity in the Battle of Flers-Courcelette. War takes its toll on all of us. Some perish, and others will never be the same. Photos forever capture the scene at which they're pointed. When millions or maybe even billions of photos are taken every day these days, it's impossible not to capture a moment of complete horror, tragedy, or terror. And when these moments are captured, they are flung into eternity, living on in the archives of the internet, of our memories, and even our worst fears. Good night. If you haven't already, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I mean, I wouldn't want you to miss another festival of nightmares. Until next time, stay safe out there and stay creepy, because this world is a strange one.